today we're going to be making black bean chicken, which is a classic Chinese stir-fry dish. It comes together quick, easy, it's healthy, it's got a lot of protein, it's real good. It's from Every Grain of Rice by Fuschia Dunlop, and if you want to make Chinese cooking at home, Fuschia Dunlop is a name that you should get familiar with because her books are all fantastic. Let's go ahead and hop into the kitchen and I'll show you guys how to make this. To get started in making this recipe, we need to marinate the chicken. So we're gonna get started here with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, as well as 1½ teaspoons of potato starch. Then, classic in Chinese cooking, we're gonna get some Shaoxing wine, and we're gonna put a tablespoon of that in there. Now we're gonna put a teaspoon each of both dark and light soy sauce. That's the dark. And this is the light. And that's it. Very simple marinade, right? So let's go ahead and mix that up. Now that I've got the marinade thoroughly mixed, I've chopped up 2 boneless chicken thighs, and we're just going to put all that in the marinade. And then we're going to toss all that to get everything nice and coated. And then we're just going to cover this and let this marinate while I chop vegetables and heat up the wok and prepare everything else. It doesn't have to be a long marinade like a lot of them are, so honestly about 20 minutes is fine. At the wok, I've heated up a tablespoon of peanut oil to a smoking temperature, which is pretty high. Now we're going to stir fry. This is a whole green bell pepper as well as some red spicy Asian peppers. You only need to put the spicy one if you like spicy food. You can leave it out or use red bell pepper, but I like the extra color and I like the spiciness, so I'm going to put it in. And you want to move this constantly. When you're stir frying, you want to move constantly so that nothing burns, because if it sits still, it's going to burn. You can see I'm getting some nice blistering on these peppers now. So we're going to actually take these out and put them back into their bowl, and we're going to reserve these for later in the recipe. At this point, I've heated up another tablespoon of peanut oil. And now we've got our marinated chicken, and that's going to go in, and again, we're going to continually stir. We don't want this to stick to the surface or it'll burn. Now we have a nice sear on this chicken. So I've got 3 garlic cloves and an equivalent amount of fresh ginger that I've sliced up, and that's going to go in next. And we're just going to continue to saute this until that starts to turn translucent and get cooked as well. You can see the garlic and the ginger is starting to turn translucent. So now I've got fermented black beans, which you can get at any Asian grocery store. And we're going to put 2 heaping tablespoons of that in there. And again, continue to stir fry. Everything in the wok has gotten really fragrant as I've added it in. You should smell each ingredient as it sort of blossoms and comes into its flavors. So at this point, I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of chili powder and return the peppers to the pot as well. And we're going to give it one last stir here and really get everything coated in that powder and get the peppers to release a little bit more of their juices. And oh my God, look how good. You can even see the color change and the caramelization. Right as you plate this off of heat, I've got some fresh cut scallions. And so again, off of heat, you want to go ahead and toss those in, about a couple tablespoons worth. And just go ahead and mix that in and stir that in right before we add it to the plate. I've plated up the black bean chicken, and the last thing I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of the scallion tops across the top. And there we go. This is done. This is everything I absolutely love about stir fry and Chinese food in general. You'll notice we didn't add a lot of salt. That's because the fermented beans have a lot of salt in them already.
I've also made this dish very spicy because I love extremely spicy food. But again, if you use only bell peppers, just use green and red bell peppers, and you can get mild chili powder. That will bring the heat way back down, and you'll just get that salty, good chicken with that Shaoxing wine and all those great Asian flavors, the ginger, the garlic, man, everything. So highly encourage you to check this one out. This is a delicious recipe. Every Grain of Rice is the cookbook. There's a lot of good wok recipes in there. Investing in a good wok and making dishes like this, well worth it in my opinion. I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy.